Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, we have a lot to talk about. The truth is finally coming out. The puzzle pieces are falling into place concerning USAID and trans activism and government destabilization, right? We've known this all along. I've been talking about this all along. Now it's being exposed, okay? American media, our social media sites, our news stories, it's a giant psyop, okay? All of this money that USAID has been putting out, well, not all of it, but much of it, has been going to promote trans activism in foreign countries. And the reason why we're doing it is not because anybody believes in trans activism, although the people who buy into this psyop, they do, is because it destabilizes the local governments. It allows us to do regime change. So we're intentionally taking the world population and destroying their gender identity, okay, with this idea that, this is virtue, this is progressivism. And then it turns out, and of course this is natural, that the genderless trans people are the most pliable and malleable people for us to use in order to destabilize an existing government, okay? Makes sense, doesn't it? Kind of adds up, allows you to put these puzzle pieces together, right? Of course, now the question becomes, well, why is there so much trans activism here in America? Let me tell you something, okay? You can never trust a weak man, right? You know this instinctually. Your body knows this. When you meet up with somebody who's weak, you know that you cannot trust them. You know that anything that you confide in them, that under the smallest amount of pressure, they're going to break. You cannot let them in the gang, right? So if you've got I remember as a child, right? We had a gang. We had a group of neighborhood kids, and this is what we did. And a new kid would come into the neighborhood, okay? And we needed to assess him. We needed to figure out if this kid had the character to, when he got caught and we all got away, would he break? Would he turn us in? And if he was going to break and he was going to turn us in, he couldn't be part of the gang, okay? It's no different when we get older and we start building businesses and we start, establishing enterprises. It's the same thing. It's the same driving force. You can't trust the weak person, all right? So, this makes you wonder, what was the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics all about? What was that, okay? And, why is all this trans activism going on here in America? Understand, this isn't just trans activism, all right? This is rap music, okay? Yes, rap music is a government psyop to destabilize populations. I can't even listen to the lyrics of rap music on the radio without getting triggered because there's so much call for violence. There's so many racial epithets. There's so much hate, there's so much anger, there's so much violence, okay? And it sickens me, because where's it going to lead? Do you honestly think that, it's meant to destabilize the population. It's meant to divide and to conquer. And if you can take away someone's biological gender identity, there's nothing you can't do with them. Now, the people that we encounter on a day-to-day basis, the Karens, the libtards, who go crazy with this stuff, they really believe it. They're the ones that the PSYOP has worked on. And this is an extension of the Arab Spring, okay? This is simply coming into a population, giving them all free cell phones, connecting them to a social media site, having that social media site, push their various trending topics. The people who run the media site are going through, everybody's clicks and everybody's likes and preferences and noticing how many potentially radicalized people they have on their platform. Once they get to a certain level of people on their platform, like 100,000 people, we actually did this over in Cuba, they flip the switch and then they start to, severely radicalize, and it's individually targeted as well. And they want to get the people to take to the streets and to start, committing violence in the name of whatever their social cause is. And they're using trans activism, they're using rap music, they're using news reporters or so-called news reporters that are actually hired investigative reporters to dig up and to create, they would say, uncover corruption, so that our government can then go after and prosecute these people, right? Wow, that's a hell of an operation, isn't it? Well, good thing we're not using it here in America, but we are, okay? MSNBC putting out their news pieces, their hit pieces on, Elon Musk using a fascist salute when he was really doing just the opposite. What do you think that is? So all of these emotional, hysterical, legacy media, middle-aged, overweight women with tons of facial makeup and perfect hair. Okay, why do you think they use those people to present the news? We are a PSYOP. Our media, our social media has been getting paid by the U.S. government indirectly through slush funds like USAID, which are not directly connected to the CIA. See, when the CIA wants to do a covert operation, they have to get clearance from the president, okay? You can't just do these things. But USAID, no, it's shuffling that money out there all the time. And consider also, all right, the deep state is real. We need it, okay? We change presidents every 4 to 8 years. We have operations in place that have been going on for 50 years, all right? They don't necessarily give the new president all those details, do they? No, they don't. So, and this is our need for continuity, for certainty. We can't upend everything every time a new president gets elected. But we're going to find out that we've been engaged in some practices that are hideous, that are destabilizing to the world itself. And we're going to need to cut it out. And the other countries, they're going to appreciate it when we cut it out, okay? Because all of this foreign aid money that we're putting into these countries to help them with things that they don't need or want help with is really just a cover for us to go in there and to destabilize their government the same way that various social media, various causes here in America are used to destabilize our population so they will vote to be genderless, and you cannot trust the weak person. And there's very few people who are aware that this is going on and this is how it operates. But now it's going to come out. And while there's probably a great number of good covert operations going on there, no, we're going to have to do an audit, and we're going to have to restructure it. And hopefully this can change our relationships, in the world. And, this is just the tip of the iceberg. But isn't it convenient that I, Howard Dare, seem to be coming back around and stepping up my efforts right when, there's this great opportunity for great change in the proper direction. It's going to be a little painful, but it's going to work out that way. So what a lucky coincidence, right? It's not a coincidence. I'm thinking of upgrading my avatar, right? I don't know if I should just have a kind of strong caricature of a man, just boom, right there in your face. Maybe something a little more subtle, maybe something a little more stylish. Bullshit. Again, it's not an accident. It's intentional, right? This is an effort to quelch the biological, driving, motivating force within human beings. Essentially, though, within men, because that's where it's strong. The women, for all of their beauty, are compromised because of their struggle to survive, because they're weaker, because they give birth. Women cannot lead. They can lead themselves. They could maybe lead babies, although they're unfit for leadership. You see, this may come as a shock to some of you, women don't love men. They don't cherish men. They don't hold men as, like one of the near highest ambition and ideal in their lives. They will not die for their men, okay? Therefore, a woman should never be in charge of men. They're not capable of being magnanimous. They're simply not. They don't understand it. They don't understand the drive for it. They see fairness and justice as something to implement to avoid conflict. That is all. Not because of motivated self-interest, not because they respect individual rights, but because it will help them get more stuff, because it'll make their lives safer and easier. This is the value of having a strong man in a position of leadership. It's not just about the individual things he does. It's about the very driving force of what he's moving towards, okay? The woman and the weak man, they're moving towards self-gratification. They're hedonists. They're gluttons. They're driven by fear and envy. They're not strong. So how can they lead you to be strong? If all they are is a bunch of money-grabbing, greedy, manipulative, destructive, abusive creatures, if that's all they are, but they could also have, $10 million, $100 million, right? How can they teach anyone to do anything other than what they do? Personal notes. I've been gathering up the sunlight, like a solar panel for the last couple weeks. I'm feeling a lot better. Now, things haven't changed, all right? But they don't bother me as much. The cold doesn't bother me as much. Various discomfort doesn't bother me as much. I'm not as hungry as much. Sleep comes easier. All other systems related, things like blood pressure, things like nerves, anxiety, are all coming down. Without the sunlight, without all that vitamin D, no, we are putting ourselves at a great disadvantage, okay? So as you can see, there's a lot for us to talk about, and there's a lot of stuff happening right now, and these are important things. MGTOW is at the forefront of all of this. I know it doesn't seem that way. I know it kind of seems like MGTOW is kind of like fading away. No, this is MGTOW, all right? Trump getting elected is essentially America going MGTOW. Now, it's not going to be towards the whole rejection of, the basic nature and character of women, but we're exposing the basic nature and character of weakness, okay? So Tim Walz, a man like Tim Walz is very dangerous. A man who will put tampons in the boys' bathroom is very dangerous because the boys don't need the tampons, right? It's insulting to offer them that. And it actually hurts their physiology. It's a psyop. It cripples them. Okay, so why would any man do that? Well, maybe the man actually thinks that, this is progressive, that this is, social justice, that this is going to help people, okay? Maybe he thinks that. I mean, that's what they say they think. The reason why they're doing these things is because they believe them to be the good, right things to do, but they're not, and they know that. So why are they doing it? They're doing it for crowd approval. They're doing it for group approval. They're doing it because they want to belong, okay? You cannot trust the weak man. You cannot trust the weak person. Anyway, as I said, we have a lot to talk about, okay? I'm going to need your support. If you want my content to be able to be free and to reach out, to the men in this time of need, then I could really use some of your support. So please click on my Cash App donation link and do what you can for the Howard Dare channel. As I said, I'll put it to good use. I would really appreciate it. And I, as one of your fellow men, could really use the help right now, okay? Because I don't get the support, all right? The platforms will shut me down for telling the truth, okay? But they will promote another man for promoting the lies, okay? So if you want the truth, I need your support. And we need to build you up to become the strong man that you actually really are. But because of all these psyops and all of this social justice abuse, the men are now sitting at the bottom of the barrel. The most powerful generative creative force throughout all of history, throughout all of the universe, okay? This is directed will. This is the persistent application of the human will, okay? Not women's will, not children's will, not old people's will, but young men and mature men's will, strength, vision, magnanimous, taking care, loving, benevolent. These are your qualities. This is the very force driving the cellular division at your core. That's what you are. That's what you carry. That is your potential. Yes, you are the next Abraham. You are the next Moses, potentially, and certainly within your own life. But we've lost that. So you see, we have a lot to talk about and that I need your support. Let me know what you think about this and these subjects in the comment section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.